Hey, good afternoon. Robert Starr here. I thought you and I could have a chat about the most valuable asset that we possess, and that's ourselves, but more specifically, the thing that exists between our ears. Now, what that is mindset. Now, it's something that we can alter, we can change, and it's something that we've got complete control over, whether we believe it or not. There's plenty of things we can react to in the world that can influence our mindset if we let it. But ultimately, it's the thing that's going to dictate whether we're successful in both our business life and also in our personal life and how we go about achieving success on a daily basis. And only we really know what that looks like. So, where this is topical this particular week is in the environment that we choose to operate and hang out. It's very well documented that we are the sum of the five people and voices and opinions that we spend the most time around. And if we spend too much time around negativity, and more specifically around one concept that I love talking about, which is blue ocean strategy. I had a great chat couple of years ago with Debbie Rigby on the Transformation podcast about this. And it's really that's approaching to business around red ocean, which is a highly competitive, it's all an area that you feel constantly stressed and constantly in this fight mode of defending yourself and preserving what you have. And then on the other hand, you have blue ocean, which is where you're walking into areas that are uncharted. So it can bring about its own stress of really the fear of what's not there and the beyond the comfort zone. But also, it's full of innovation. You have the ability to look at every patient and groups of patients that present to you, if you're in pharmacy on a daily basis or clients in your business that represent common areas where you can add value. You can leave them better off with things that you come up with and you think about bringing to the world that haven't previously existed without the threat of competition, without the threat of being able to have to defend and preserve what you have, that you've got the ability to take your ideas to the world. So, on that note, when I look at the environment that we see ourselves in, particularly in the pharmacy industry, and it's very well documented in the big news stories of the world, that we're in the red ocean the majority of the time. We're constantly defending ourselves, interprofessional rivalry, regulatory, whether it be scheduling, it's a whole range of issues that largely as a group, we've got a lot of control and a big voice around it. But ultimately, it's a red ocean, it's very competitive and doesn't allow us to yield any great results and progress in our individual practices on a day to day basis. And we can very easily get caught up in it and allow it to influence how we go about approaching our next patient in front of us. Whereas if we can look at it on the opposite and keep our ears open, because it's too easy to close them when we're in the red ocean, we can actually view new opportunities and new areas in which to grow our practice and grow the ability for us to contribute to our patients, which hasn't existed anymore. Now, everyone's going to have different environments, different challenges, different opportunities, which is the wonderful thing about business and about pharmacy practice itself. So I would love to know areas and how much time you choose to spend every week looking at this type of thing, because my inclination is, and I'm guilty of this too, that we don't spend enough time looking at the things that we can influence, the things that we can create on our own. It often is the hardest part to actually create something that's never existed before. But when we do, we really do put a big line in the sand and choose to change the thinking of how we're going to solve the biggest problems. And Einstein, I'll paraphrase this, had a great quote around not trying to solve the problems with the same thinking that created them. And what I'll also add to that is the same thinking that was present when we were put in that position and we responded to it the way we did. I'll leave it with you. It's a big thing to have a think about. It's something that we've got to challenge ourselves, because if we're really going to position ourselves in survival and thriving in this 21st century, which takes, particularly in pharmacy, to new horizons, new opportunities, we really need to get ourselves into this mode Otherwise, we're going to be stuck in preservation and not headed down the road of innovation. Bye for now.